What's good, YouTube? It's me, your boy Squiddy, back again with another video. Today, I wanted to talk about the new spell card that was actually just spoiled to be coming out in the OCG in the new Cyberstorm Access Pack. We got this spoiler, I think it was sometime yesterday. And basically, it seems on the surface to be such a busted card. Time-Rending Morganite, essentially what it does is it's a normal spell card. For the rest of this duel, apply each of these effects after you activate this card. 1, you cannot activate monster effects in the hand. 2, you draw 2 cards each time you conduct your normal draw. And 3, you can normal summon or set up to twice per turn. And then it also has a follow-up secondary effect in the graveyard. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then discard 1 Time-Rending Morganite. Each time you normal summon a monster this turn, your opponent cannot activate monster effects. So from a glance, it seems very, very, very busted. Being able to draw 2 cards for the rest of the duel. Bear in mind, guys, we don't really have a lot of effects that allow you to have a blanket effect for the rest of the duel. It's very, very, very rare. This is almost like an anime villain type effect where they just activate this card and like suddenly they have like this huge advantage that the protagonist has to play through. And obviously, it's really, really good being able to draw 2 cards during your normal draw, as well as being able to normal summon or set up to twice per turn. So on activation, it's already a free double summon. We've essentially power crept double summon from the game. And then it also has this nice follow-up effect. Obviously, ideally in any deck that you would play this card, you probably want to play multiple copies. So if you happen to draw 2 copies, it does have that hedge effect where you can allow your normal monsters to go through so they can't really respond with monster effects to your ignition effects, for example. For example, if you summon something like a tour guide, they wouldn't be able to negate the activation with an Omni-Negate monster, which is kind of nice. But I think this card is definitely overhyped because of the fact that it doesn't really immediately give you anything. And especially nowadays in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, like it's not like back in the day where we could just play decks with 9 gadgets and just like summon. We have like a bunch of monsters to normal summon, so the twice per turn normal summon really comes in handy. But nowadays we have to play a plethora of interruption as well as the engine. A lot of decks have to play hand traps or things like the Bystials. Like in certain formats, people are still playing like Ash, Valor, Imperm, and it makes it a lot harder to normal summon or set twice per turn. From a glance, the decks that you'd think this would be good in is Flunderies and maybe True Draco. Decks that don't really play hand traps, don't really activate things from hand. So you can just take advantage of the normal summoner set, being able to do that twice per turn. But even in Flunderies, like you already have map, you have your normal summon plus map. So on top of that, just playing Morganite is almost like worse copies of map. If you happen to have this and access to map, chances are you're not going to have, 3 monsters to normal summon or set. So when you activate this card, it's already a -1 because you're not really getting any card advantage immediately. And then on the following draw phase, you are drawing 2 cards. So you're only replacing that missing card advantage on your following turn. And nowadays, everyone knows that 1 turn in Yu-Gi-Oh is just crazy. So you can't really forego that with 1 less card in your advantage, right? Even having to draw 2 cards on that following turn, it's really just like you're only adding an extra card. So it's more or less like an Upstart Goblin that's a turn late. In addition to the normal summoner set twice on the turn that you activated effect. So I think this card is a little overhyped. And then on top of that, you do have the restriction where you cannot activate monster effects in the hand, meaning you cannot use any sort of hand traps. Obviously, you cannot play this in decks that happen to have ignition effects that activate in the hand as well. So things like Tearlaments where they have Sharon, or even like I can think of like the Libromancers, like Drawtron, so on and so forth. A lot of ignition effects nowadays do activate in the hand to either special summon themselves or to search something or to give you some kind of competitive advantage in the game. So having turning that off in a deck is just like, you can't really do that because it shuts off your entire engine in a lot of decks that do have that, the effects that activate in the hand. So this is more like a very hedge card that would be good in decks that don't really special summon, I guess, more or less be able to normal summon twice. Also, I could see it being decent in trap decks, things like maybe Eldritch or the new Labyrinth cards that are coming out. So the Labyrinth deck, because of the fact that you can sort of control the game, you can activate this on turn 1 and then set some floodgates so you don't die. And then you start drawing 2 cards each consecutive turn after that. And also you don't really have monster effects that activate in the hand, besides maybe Golden Lord. But it doesn't really matter because you're drawing multiple floodgates. You're still being able to win at some point in time using your traps. So I think it could definitely be playable in those decks, but again, it does need some playtesting. I don't think it's as good as a lot of people are hyping it to be, just because of the fact that you are playing the turn with one less card, and then like in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, you really can't afford to go -1 without getting some kind of advantage, or like, you know, stopping your opponent, for example, from doing something in that turn. So yeah, I just want to make a quick little video. Let me know what you guys think about this card. I do think that it will definitely be a coveted card in the TCG when it does come out, likely to be secret rare. But let's see how it does in the OCG. Before that, we do have a couple of months. Again, we're getting the Photon Hypernova coming in February, and then we won't get Cyberstorm access until sometime closer to the summer. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you haven't liked, comment, and subscribed already, please do so I can continue making these videos, and I'll see you guys in the next video.